I'm just gonna let my soul talk. I'm gonna speak my truth. I'm gonna let my soul talk. Take the path I know.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the channel. All right, so today in the chair, we got a situation coming out of Miami, Florida, where dude and the girl arguing, I guess, and she called her brothers over there. You know, usual situation. Call the brothers. Brothers come over there. Dude, blam them down. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, so we gotta think before we involve people in other situations when we have domestics going on, because both sides heated, you know what I'm saying? And outside of that, nobody don't know what's going on between y'all two. You know what I'm saying? Only thing they know is what you call on the phone and say, and your family members gonna be concerned for your safety. You know what I mean? And so they coming, and the person who you arguing with gonna be concerned for their safety even more. So when they pull up, they already waiting, they ready, because they know that the person coming to harm them. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to stop involving people in your domestics, you know what I'm saying? Because 9 times out of 10, y'all gonna argue, fight, do whatever y'all do, and y'all gonna be good tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But in this situation, you know what I'm saying, both our brothers dead. So y'all go ahead and check it out.
You were arrested for 2 counts of first-degree murder. This is a capital offense if you're found guilty.
Invoking his right to counsel and right to remain silent.
His mother's in court. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
There's probable cause for the charges. It looks like he shot and killed a girlfriend's 2 brothers. I'm going to grant the state's motion for pretrial detention pending final hearing and hold you with no bond. You will see a judge tomorrow. That judge will set a final hearing on the state's motion for pretrial detention.
He's sitting up there looking like, man, goddamn, well, I just defend myself.
Very unfortunate situation here, y'all, when it comes to 2 brothers who were shot and unalive as they responded to an incident involving their sister. Now, before we even get into everything, there's a bunch of stories going around on social media where some are saying that the 2 was unalive because of their sister, insinuating that she led them to their demise. Then you have those that said that they were trying to be tough and jump the man together and would end up losing their life as the man was trying to defend himself. However, a person close to the family, who happens to be the sister baby father, has first-hand information on what happened, and he will tell a different story and let the world know that they are in fact wrong. Now, according to the baby father, the 2 brothers didn't come rowdy, but instead they were just trying to make sure their sister was okay. On top of that, they also alleged that the sister wasn't even the one that called her brothers, and in fact, it was somebody else. So there's many sides to the story, but one fact we do know that still remains is that 2 brothers are no longer here at the hands of one man. And also the 2 brothers have a crazy connection where they weren't twins. However, both of them were born on literally the same day, February 23rd. One was born on February 23rd, 1998, and the other one was born on February 23rd, 2003. However, May 2nd, 2026 would be another date that the 2 shared together, but this time they will leave the world together. Now we're going to get into the rumor first, and then get into what the family had to say about what really happened, and then also get into the man that has since been arrested and charged for the death of both of these 2. At first, they would state that their sister was getting into a physical DV altercation with a boyfriend. That's when she would then call her brothers to come over there and fight her battle. When the 2 got over there, an altercation transpired between the brothers and the boyfriend as they were trying to protect their sister. The boyfriend would go retrieve a firearm and then proceed to shoot both of the brothers for putting their hands on him allegedly. Now, when many first heard this story, they believed that this was just another sad case of a woman calling her family, getting them involved in her mess, which led to them ultimately losing their life. One user on Facebook speaking on the situation will state, quote, "Stop involving y'all brothers when you get into it with your dude, cause 9 times out of 10, y'all dumb light butts keep going back to these women beaters. Now when mama gotta bury both her sons cause they were trying to help their sister. Crazy, their birthdays are the same as my son who passed. And I don't know what it is with that February 23rd date, but that's 2 people that we know that just lost their life that have the same birthday. And it's another user that just admitted that her son was also born on that same day. Now the crazy part is her baby father will respond to the post, and he told us a whole different story. But before we get into that, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, hype the video so we can get into the algorithm, and if you not subscribed to the platform already, make sure you do so now. Let's get into it. Now that video was taken just moments before two Florida brothers by the name of 28-year-old Gianni Pierre and 23-year-old Jaime Pierre will be shot and unalive. According to the police report about what happened, the sister, who goes by the name of Jaleesa Evans, would describe what happened between her and her boyfriend that led to the shooting in the first place. The police report would state, quote, "At approximately 15:35 hours, Detective Jay Hernandez obtained a sworn, video recorded statement from Evans. According to Evans, she was in her apartment with a boyfriend of approximately 4 years, Carter, when her two other brothers, J. Pierre and G. Pierre, came over. Evans stated that her brothers came over to look after her due to a previous history of domestic violence between her and Carter. J. Pierre began arguing with Evans. When Carter interrupted the argument, J. Pierre punched Carter and a scuffle ensued between the three males. Evans left the apartment to ask a neighbor to call the police. Upon her return to the apartment, she found that Carter was no longer inside and she locked the door. Shortly after, Evans heard banging at the door and urged her brothers not to open the door. J. Pierre eventually opened the door and Carter immediately began shooting. G. Pierre was seated on a couch at the time that he was shot. J. Pierre ran towards Evans' seat cover next to her as Carter continued to shoot at him, causing J. Pierre to collapse on top of Evans. Carter then sat at the edge of the bed and stated to Evans, "See what you made me do?" Evans then replied, "I told you to leave." She then, and then that was it. Now that tells us that 31-year-old Antoine Carter, who was her boyfriend, was identified as the shooter, wasn't the one that swung the first punch. And for whatever reason, J. Pierre was arguing with his sister Jaleesa, even though they didn't tell us why. The only thing I could think of is due to Antoine and Jaleesa having a history of fighting, the brothers were tired of helping them. We see this all the time where a woman gets into trouble with her boyfriend, the family ends up hating the boyfriend or trying to help. However, the girl ends up going right back together with the boyfriend. So it kind of defeats the purpose of you getting into it with them or trying to intervene, because if you're still going to go back to the man that put hands on you, then it just doesn't make sense. Imagine maybe that's why they was arguing. So when her boyfriend interrupted, he got mad and then J. Pierre punched him. That's when the two brothers and Antoine will begin fighting. Now, according to the police report, the sister must have known that Antoine was going to get a gun, which is why she locked the door and told them not to open it. But while they did that, I don't know why they thought it was a good idea to basically open the door. But if you realize, it seemed like one of the brothers were more aggressive than the other, because the same brother Jaheim that punched Antoine first was the same brother that opened the door too. Why? Now, according to the sister, the other brother was sitting on the couch at the moment the door opened, and that's when Antoine would come in and shoot both of them, as Jaheim tried to run and then he also collapsed on his sister. Now here's where they explain what happened outside of the door, as they seen Carter return back to the apartment after leaving and being locked out. The police report would state, quote, "Detective A. Fortune reviewed CCTV footage revealing that moments before the shooting, Carter is seen exiting apartment number 210 and walked towards a black four-door sedan in the parking garage. Carter retrieved an unknown object from the front passenger side of the vehicle and placed it in his front right pocket. Carter returned to the apartment 210 and attempted to open the door, however, found that the door was locked. Carter then banged on the apartment door with his fist and continuously yelled in short, 'Open up, you soft-ass ninjas. I bet one of you won't open up.' Carter paced in front of the door for several minutes until an unknown person opened the door. Carter then charged into the apartment as he reached into his front right pocket. Immediately after, several gunshots were heard and the female was heard screaming. Evans was seen running out of the apartment barefoot with her feet covered in blood. A few minutes later, Carter walked out of the apartment. Now, when it comes to Antoine being arrested, he didn't try to even run, and in fact, he stayed right there after the shooting and waited for the police to arrive. Upon arriving, officers observed him pacing back and forth outside of the apartment and even stated that he would let them know that he was the one that they were looking for. The police report would state, quote, "While officers were on the scene, black male Antoine Carter, date of birth 8/13/94, was observed pacing in front of the apartment building and spontaneously stated to Officer Camelo and Officer Delgado, 'I'm the one. I have the firearm.' Carter was armed with a 9mm Glock 43 firearm in his right pocket. Officer Camelo detained Carter in his vehicle and secured the firearm. A black female identified as Jaleesa Evans then walked up to officers with her feet and clothing covered in blood, stating that it was her brothers that were shot. Carter and Evans were transported to the homicide office for questioning.
Man is in custody after police say he shot and killed his girlfriend's two brothers. This happened after an argument escalated into a shooting. CBS News Miami's Maribel Rodriguez is your reporter in Miami with what neighbors are saying about this.
Woke from dead sleep. 5 gunshots. Pow, 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 pow. And then the door slammed underneath my balcony.
That's what Gina Kirk said she heard Saturday morning coming from a neighbor's apartment at 5329 Northwest 17th Avenue.
Good morning, Mr. Carter.
According to police, it was this man, 31-year-old Antoine Carter, who fired the shots. When officials arrived to this building in Miami, they found 2 men in their 20s shot multiple times inside one of the apartments. One of them was dead. The other died at the hospital.
There's probable cause for the charges. It looks like he shot and killed a girlfriend's 2 brothers.
Police say Carter's girlfriend's brothers went to check up on her and when they arrived, got into a fight with Carter. According to investigators, they found Carter outside the building who told them, quote, "I am the one," and the gun was found in his pocket. Carter was taken into custody and appeared in bond court on Monday.
I'm going to grant the state's motion for pretrial detention pending final hearing and hold you with no bond.
And Carter is being charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, and according to police, he does have a history of domestic violence. In Miami, Maribel Rodriguez, CBS News, Miami.
Now the question here still remains. Who called the brothers and how did they even know that something was going on over there? As y'all could tell, the sister never told the police who called the brothers, nor did she tell them that the two have a history of DV, with Antoine also having a history of DV, even with other females. Now we're hearing that she also had a toxic relationship with him because he wasn't even supposed to be over there due to her having a restraining order. So maybe that's the reason they went over there, knowing that he's not supposed to be there. So they went over there to check on her and then got into the argument with her because they feel that he shouldn't be there and she allowed it. Who knows? Now in the police report, she told police that she went to the neighbor house and told them to call the police. However, the baby father of her other children would say that that's false. In that same Facebook post from earlier, where the user would insinuate that she called her brothers to do something to him and it backfired, well, Jaleesa's baby father jumped in the comments and dropped a little more details than what we were being told. He would respond to the post as he would state, quote, "That's my BM. She ain't call her brothers over there. One of her family members told the brothers that fool was beating on her. Them boys went over there to see what was going on, but he was in the house with her and they told dude to leave and went and got his gun. My BM don't involve family and her problems never did." Now the thing is this, the baby father is stating that Jaleesa don't tell her business to her family. However, I don't know how they would know that the two have a history of DV then, but this is what the baby father is saying. Now underneath that post, someone will ask a question basically saying, if the brothers weren't called or she didn't call the brothers, they're at that point in time when the two was arguing. The baby father will respond by saying, quote, "Her sister lives with her. He upped the gun on the sister because the sister pushed him off her when he was beating her up. He upped the gun on her mama too. My BM don't tell her business." Now, I don't know how true this is or what's going on because Jaleesa never expressed that there was another woman in the house, nor did she specify that her sister was the one that called the police. She said the neighbor did. Not to mention, we didn't hear anything else about the mother being there or the other sister in the police report. So I don't know. Plus, the police report also says that he went to the car and got the firearm, or just said it was an unknown subject. So if he went to the car and got the firearm, how did he up it in the apartment already? Did he up it, take it back, and then when the brothers came, he got it again? I don't know. However, for the ladies out there, please keep your business private. We don't even know what the argument between Jaleesa and Antoine was over. Hell, for all we know, she probably provoked it and started it as well. I wonder why she was arguing with her brother too in the first place. It's a lot of mixed stories floating around, but it's also sickening to see that these two guys lost their lives because they were trying to protect their sister. I wonder if Antoine and the brothers even have a history, and maybe that's why Jaheim stalled off and just hit him out of nowhere. This isn't the first, and it damn sure wouldn't be the last time where we've heard of men losing their life because they tried to protect the women, especially the ones that started. Then you have the men that get hostile before they even know what's going on. Some guys come and try to de-escalate or even try to understand before they go off and cause ruckus. But then you have those guys that don't even care to understand what's going on. They don't try to de-escalate. They just listen to the women and then they go off and everything gets worse. Rest in peace to these two brothers and condolences to their family. As more information come out pertaining to this case, we'll keep you guys updated. But in the meantime, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping.
Alright, so like I said, man, y'all gotta stop involving people in y'all relationship problems and arguments and fights and all of that. Family members, friends, because 9 times out of 10, y'all gonna be right back together a couple of days later, and y'all gonna be alright, and whoever y'all involved, they not gonna be alright. You know what I mean? So just keep it to yourself. At the same time, most importantly, more important than anything, man, y'all dudes gotta stop putting y'all hands on these females, bro. Just leave. Just leave, go on about your business. Simple as that. Stop putting your hands on these. I don't give a fuck what's going on. She cheat on you. She arguing. She hit you. This and whatever it is and shit, bro. Stop putting your hands on anything short of protecting your life. Like they trying to stab you, shoot you, or some shit like that. Anything outside of that, bro, just leave. Simple as that. I'm gonna put the video at the end. I want y'all to watch that. It's a couple of more incidents. You know what I'm saying? Where stuff like this done happen that I know personally. Yeah, y'all can check them out at the end. If you ain't subscribed to the channel already, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications so y'all can see the next videos when they come out. Like this right here so it can push the video up to the top of the algorithm. Appreciate y'all for watching Ink Talk.
I'm just gonna let my soul talk. I'm gonna speak my truth. I'm gonna let it